I was not planning on getting Tessie a new bed this week. In fact, I was really happy with her being in a crib. I probably would not have been keeping her in a crib if it weren't for two things. One is the fact that I was pretty sure that if we put her in a bed, she was going to be out of it every 2 seconds, like more than a neurotypical kid. I figured that she would just be all over the house, that she would be trying to break down baby gates, that she'd be trying to climb over baby gates because she's a climber. I figured that she would be trying to go upstairs and just get into everything in the house all night long. The upside is that she's a pretty good sleeper, and once she goes to sleep, she sleeps all night long, but I was worried about that whole getting her to sleep. But that really wasn't the main reason that I still wanted her in that crib at night. The main reason that I wanted her in that crib at night was because she has her apnea monitor for her central apnea. That she has 2 sensors that go across her chest, and one monitors her heart rate and one monitors her breathing, and she has a monitor, and she has a sensor that goes on her toe, a pulse ox, that monitors her oxygen level all night long. And all I could picture was her getting up every 10 seconds when we're trying to get her to sleep and running and yanking the cords out of the monitor, because the cords are only so long, obviously, and the alarm going off every 10 seconds. That was basically the vision that I had in my head if she was in a crib, because at least if she's in a crib, she's confined to a space. And for those of you who don't know, from the setup of our house, we have 3 bedrooms that are the kids' bedrooms, and one is Maggie, one is Sadie, one is the boys right now, and that's because we can't put Tessie in with Maggie, and Sadie's room is just full of little tiny things that Tessie would put in her mouth and choke on, so we can't really put her in with Sadie either, even though Sadie, she would really love to have Tessie as a roommate. She thinks it would be wonderful. It just wouldn't be safe because of all the little glass things that Sadie has in her room now that Sadie finally has her own room, because for a very long time Sadie and Maggie were roommates, but that just resulted in Sadie not being able to have very much because Sadie's things got broken so much, which is why Sadie has her own room now. That is not the subject of today's video. The subject of today's video is the crib. I was hoping that that crib was going to work for another 6 months. I was hoping that it was going to work, well, another 4 months now. I was hoping it was going to get us up to June when she turned 3, and then we could figure out what came next. However, yesterday she took her nap, and I was in my room right here doing some work, and she was on the other side of the door. I can see her crib from my room when she's taking her nap, and I walked out and the corner of her crib had completely collapsed. She was fine. She was like sitting there happily with her little foot through the part that had collapsed, like looking at it. It was just like one corner that was like sagging down. And I called Paul over and said, hey, could you see if you could fix this? At the time, I could see that there was like one of the coils that holds the part that holds the mattress. I could see that it was sitting on her bed. So I thought she had just somehow managed to take that off. Because Tessie seems, in the way that Maggie seems to be really good with locks and taking things apart, Tessie seems to be really good at disassembling things, at taking screws out of things, at taking things apart. And I've noticed it especially over the last couple months. She will be next to something and all of a sudden I'll come over and she will have removed screws out of something that was like well put together a few minutes before. And so she's just good at that, like Maggie is. We know that she has really good visual skills and apparently very good taking apart skills. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it's kind of her thing right now. And so I figured she just somehow got this spring off. Paul came over and I took Tessie out and I'm holding her and Paul takes the mattress out and he's like, I can't fix this. Come here. And I walk over and I look down and I'm holding her and I see that the entire bottom of the part, the metal part that's like wires that holds the mattress has just like come apart where it's broken in like probably 20 places all across it. Like there's no way that this thing can be saved or fixed. And it's obviously from her jumping on it. That she jumped on it so hard that it just broke. The metal came apart all around the entire frame, especially in this one corner, but across the entire thing. It just gave out. She is only 2. I mean, it's not like she's huge or anything, but if you've seen the videos of her jumping, you know that she jumps very vigorously in her crib. And so, I mean, it's obviously not made for that sort of abuse, and that is why it broke. I went upstairs and I started searching on Amazon for toddler beds and I didn't feel like I wanted to get a twin bed at this point and buy a mattress right now and put a twin bed in our playroom. I really like having a small bed in our playroom, but I also really didn't want to spend a bunch of money and get a toddler bed. At the same time, I also didn't really just want to have her on a little toddler mattress on the floor because I could see her rolling off of that. So I was sitting there thinking of what to do next when I remembered when the boys switched from their pirate ship bed and their car bed, we put the car bed out on the curb and it was gone in half an hour. A guy actually came up to our door and knocked on the door and said, "Are you really giving this away?" And we said, and Paul said, "Take it. It's yours. All yours." So we gave the car bed away and it was gone. But we took the pirate ship and we put it outside in our backyard because we were going to turn it into a play structure for the kids, especially for Maggie. It is a toddler bed. I said, we got to bring that thing inside. It's probably the best for her because the mattress lays down about this far under the top of the bed, and so she would be down in the bed. I think that she would actually really like it because she's really into mermaids like Maggie and she's really into all things ocean. I think she'd be excited about it. So Paul went outside and he got it. I mean, this thing, it was in a video last week. I took a video of it. It was covered in ice. It wasn't just covered in ice. It was full of ice. So Paul brought it inside. We got it to defrost. We drained it in the bathtub and it's set up now. And Tessie spent the first night it in last night. So the first thing we had to do was we had to set baby gates up on all of the exits to the downstairs so she can't go wandering the house at night. So she has to stay in the playroom outside of our room. I'll be able to hear if she gets up because if she does get up and go more than 5 steps away from her bed, she will unplug the sensors on her chest and an alarm will go off right away. So I will hear if she gets up. However, this kid's basically slept through the night every single night since she was born and definitely since she was 2 weeks old because that is kind of how her central apnea is. It's the sort where she just sleeps and has always slept more than the normal average kid her age. And so the main thing now is last night she was so excited she just wanted to be in it, so she just got in it, went to sleep and slept all night long until 7:30 this morning, and so that was great. But tonight she was in a mood about it. She didn't want to be in it. She wanted to be out playing and it took a really long time for her to go to bed. And finally, I came in here and was in my room. And after a couple minutes, because Paul had tried to stay in there with her and get her to bed, and she would not go to bed with someone in the room, which I suspected was what was happening because that's how Maggie used to be. Maggie couldn't go to sleep if there was someone else in the room with her. It was like a sensory overload thing. I came in my room where I could see her, but she couldn't get to me and be upset that I wasn't exactly how she wanted me to be, which seemed to be what was happening. And then she immediately went over, laid down in her bed, and went to sleep. We're on a new adventure of toddler beds. It is working out better than I thought it would. I can't hook her up to her machines before she goes to sleep, so basically I just wait in here and I listen for when it's totally silent, and then I run out there and really quickly and really carefully, without waking her up, hook her up to everything. And luckily she's a really sound sleeper, and so it usually works out, and usually she doesn't wake up at all. Anyways, that is the story of how Tessie became a big girl and got a big girl bed. Well, maybe how she became a mermaid in a pirate ship bed. What a day. What a weekend. That is it for today. If you like this video, we'd love it if you'd hit that like button, and if you are interested in all things autism, we'd love it if you would hit the subscribe button, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.